The Mariners basically just had a perfect weekend. Let's talk about it. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Monday, July 14th, 2025. This is Tidy Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. It's going to be a fun one today. We got a bunch of new Mariners prospects to talk about. Big time sweep in Detroit as well. We're actually going to push the mailbag episode to tomorrow because, again, we got a lot to talk about and we want to be able to give you guys enough time to answer your questions thoroughly. And we're going to start here by talking about what happened last night on day one of the 2025 MLB Draft. Cade Anderson, Seattle Mariner. And I guess all I have to say on that is LOL Angels.
It couldn't have worked out better. It was a wild, 90 minutes pre-draft and through the first two picks of the draft. Because what we heard Mike Elias went on his burner and was like, oh, the Nationals are taking Ethan Holiday. He was wrong. But they did take Eli Willits. So that is not Cade Anderson. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And we had heard about 10 minutes before the draft started that the Angels are really heavily considering doing something under slot, and they had done heavy work on Ike Irish, and that's from Keith Law.
Yeah.
Keith knows stuff. And so you're sitting there like, okay. That would make sense if Cade Anderson wasn't there for them to try and do that or something like that. Well, Cade Anderson was there. And so as a Mariner fan, you're like, oh man, how great would it be if the Angels screw this up and they do something silly and the Mariners take Cade Anderson and for the last week or so, we've been hearing about how there's two camps inside that draft room, and the higher level guys, they want Iva Arquette, and the more boots on the ground type of guys, they want Seth Hernandez, and there is loud disagreement between these two groups, and it is chaos in that draft room right now. And then the Angels stepped to the plate. They did go under slot. We think they don't know apparently, but we think they did. And they took Tyler Bremner.
Who also there was some smoke around him and the Mariners leading up to the draft as well.
Yes, and they took Tyler Bremner. The Angels, who love drafting essentially guys who are double-A players in the first round and just getting them into the big leagues as fast as possible because they know they can't really develop very well. So they need to get guys who are as close to foolproof as you can hope for.
Yeah.
Well, that describes Cade Anderson, not so much Bremner, and yet, well, what seemed like a no-brainer kind of became one because the Angels don't have a brain, and they took Bremner, allowing the Mariners to snag the number one player on their board and basically make the last week of the arguing inside that draft room irrelevant because the Mariners grabbed the guy that they obviously had as the 101 on their draft board. And you can tell because it took the Mariners a literal 45 seconds for them to turn their pick in.
Yeah.
They did not take the 5 minutes. They knew who they wanted. They took them, and it's a fantastic day for the Mariners. And it's funny how sometimes things work out, and it only turns out one really incompetent franchise to turn having the number 3 pick in this year's draft, which not a great year to have the number 3 pick, and there's just a lot of red flags on a lot of these guys except for one, but he's not going to get to you. Well, he did. And Cade Anderson is probably pitching for the Arkansas Travelers next year. And by a year from today, he might be pitching for the Mariners. Who knows?
Yeah, it's very, very possible. So I wasn't actually watching the draft. I was just keeping an eye on Twitter because, excuse me for not wanting to hear a bunch of middle-aged men put Hall of Fame comps on a bunch of young players that have never set foot on a big league field and talk about how great the body of an 18-year-old looks. But I saw the Jeff Passan tweet saying that Tyler Bremner went to the Angels, and I got a huge smile on my face. And I immediately knew what that meant because, yeah, Cade Anderson, it was really the only thing that we knew for certain about this draft at the top of it for the Mariners was that Cade Anderson was their guy, that they had identified him as the best player in this draft. Other than that, though, you guys have listened to this podcast and heard us how uncertain we were about what they were going to do at number 3. And I mean, even on Friday when we did our final check-in before the draft, we were just like, I don't know, it could be like 8 different guys that could go at number 3. And it would have been fascinating to see who the Mariners would have wound up taking had Anderson gone 1 or 2 and what that plan ultimately would have looked like. But I much rather have this be the case here. This is an incredible get for the Mariners, just an incredible gift. I mean, not only were they gifted, the number 3 pick in this draft, they were also gifted, again, the guy who they believed was the best player in this draft. And it's someone that really gives them something that they don't have or didn't have in their farm system leading up into yesterday, which is a left-handed starter who could be potentially a frontline starter for them. At the very least, he's probably going to be a mid-rotation starter at the big league level. And, for those of you that don't know about Cade Anderson, this is a guy that had Tommy John surgery in 2022 and really came into his own this past season with LSU. He was a huge part of their championship run. He was the most outstanding player in the Men's College World Series. He led Division I in strikeouts with 170. Scott Hunter last night said that Cade is not going to pitch for the rest of the year. LSU used the hell out of him over the course of their championship run. He had a few starts, I think, where he went like 120, 130 pitches. It's a little bit different, obviously, because pitchers are throwing once every 7 days rather than once every 5 days, like they do at the major league level. But still, that's a lot of workload on a young arm, especially a guy that has already undergone Tommy John surgery. So they're going to pump the brakes on him as far as 2025 goes, and he's going to make his pro debut next year. But that's going to be incredibly exciting. And again, like you said, it might not be very long before he's throwing pitches to Cal Raleigh in Seattle. So yeah, I mean, this is the best case scenario really for the Mariners, because again, we knew that this room was incredibly split. I mean, Scott Hunter said as much last week that this room was incredibly split on what they were going to do at number 3. I don't know how everyone in that room felt about Cade Anderson, but it felt like really the pick that at least most of that room was going to agree on. So again, I think this is just a huge get for the Mariners. So let's talk a little bit about what else they did last night. Luke Stevenson, catcher out of North Carolina, is the pick at number 35, the competitive balance round A selection for the Mariners. He's been widely regarded as the best sophomore bat in this entire class. He's probably going to get a little bit overslot because of that, because he does have some leverage there. We'll see. But this is a guy that a lot of people have praised his defensive prowess behind the plate. He's absolutely going to stick behind there, and it's a ton of pop from the left side of the dish. What do you think about the Stevenson pick for the M's?
Yeah. I really like it as I try to learn more about who the Mariners just drafted in the 8th round. Surprise, it's a right-handed pitcher with projection left who's 6'2", $180, but he's already, low to mid-90s with a sinker. He's a 4-pitch mix. He throws a ton of strikes. Boy, that doesn't sound like a Mariners target at all. I just don't even know how to pronounce his last name. But that's where the Mariners are as we record this. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We'll talk more about him.
We're probably going to need to bring on a Joe Doyle or somebody in the coming days to get these 7th, 8th, 9th round, if they even know who they are. Like, let's be honest. But anyways,
everyone will get more information on these guys now that they've found a home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Luke Stevenson.
Really like the pick. It is a weird pick. I will grant you that, because you take a college catcher who is basically a finished product behind the plate. And it's a plus. It is a plus arm. It is a quick release. He's a well above average blocker and pitch framer. Pitchers like throwing to him. So it really comes down to, he needs to learn how to call his own game, because most college coaches don't trust their catcher to do that. But He's a smart guy. He's a grinder by all accounts. Loves the PB&Js. That's the little quirk about him. He apparently makes 1,500 PB&Js and freezes them and eats them throughout the season. I don't know. Like, yeah, he ate
some weird
1,500 PB&Js this. Yeah, they did a whole thing on it on the ACC
I don't know why you need to meal prep a PB&J.
I don't know, but they did a whole thing on it on the ACC network. But
all right,
yes. So yeah, it's weird because Cal Raleigh's in the org. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. Harry Ford's in the org for now, and he's in AAA. He's very close.
Yeah, for now. Yeah,
sure. But I mean, Stevenson's probably still 2 years away with where the bat's at right now, and so that doesn't necessarily guarantee they're trading Harry Ford this summer. Because by the time Stevenson's ready, Cal might be your first baseman, and you could, in theory, have Harry Ford and Stevenson splitting the catching duties. But so on that surface, it's weird, but the player is a really good kid. And Stevenson is a guy, again, who's already a plus defensive catcher, and he's got 25, 30 home run power from the left side, a swing that's going to work very well at T-Mobile Park from the power perspective. He doesn't chase, he's very disciplined, but he does have contact issues in the zone, which is why he only hit 250 at North Carolina and why he had a 24% strikeout rate. At the major league level, both of those numbers are totally fine. In college,
right,
you'd like that to be higher. But again, it's not because he's expanding the zone. It's not because he's overly aggressive. He's going to draw walks. He's going to hit home runs. He's going to strike out, and he's going to be a plus defensive catcher. Sounds like 2022 Cal Raleigh to me.
Sure.
And I don't know. Is 2022 Cal Raleigh a player worth taking in the first round? Yes, absolutely he is. Austin Wells is another comp I saw thrown on him. Yeah, that's a really good player. Like
Jason Castro was another one that I saw.
Also Brian McCann.
Yeah.
So drafting a catcher who is going to be an everyday catcher at the big league level based on the defense and the power alone. Anytime you can draft that guy, regardless of who's behind the dish right now for you, it's a smart idea because there's probably 10 to 12 true everyday catchers in Major League Baseball right now. It's always a valuable commodity. You can never have enough catcher depth. And the fact that he already has we'll call it 1+ offensive skill and 1 solidly average skill in terms of drawing walks. And he's already, 60 arm, 55 framer, 55 blocker. He's a grinder. He's a hard worker and all of that. It all adds up. This guy's going to be a 2.5 win player, 3 win player for half a decade. And that's if he doesn't develop any more hit tool, which is not out of the realm of possibility. I really like the pick. He's a good player and he fits in well with what the Mariners like. And hey, you know what? Seattle's pretty darn good at developing catchers. I think we can say that now when you look at what they've done with Cal, when you look at where Harry Ford is, where you look at what they got out of Nola and Murphy and all these guys that have come through that the Mariners have made better. I think saying the Mariners can develop catching is an understatement. And so I really like the pick.
Yeah. And in general, the two things that you can never have enough of in your organization, pitching and catching. So even if this doesn't mean anything for Harry Ford, still a really nice pick because you just add more catching, you add that asset, and you give yourself more options in your organization. So really like the Luke Stevenson pick. He's someone that we had talked about really early on in the draft process as well, when even before the college season. So really cool to see his name actually get called from the Mariners side. So we're going to talk about Nick Becker, Griffin Hugus, and then some of the day 2 guys in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you once again by Gametime. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a Mariners game, either by yourself or with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and suddenly you realize, I want to be in the stands. Well, that's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast for instant reactions following every Mariners game. Be sure to tune into the Mariners postcast with Anderson Hurst and Christopher Crawford, available on both the Locked On Mariners YouTube and podcast feeds. So our most recent donations on our Feeding America fundraiser come from Cody with $50, Ryan with $100, Caden with $38, 100 from Anonymous, 25 from Brent, 54.40 from Anonymous, 40 from Anonymous, 55 from Bob, 50 from Anonymous, and 200 from Anonymous, bringing us to a grand total of $11,807 raised for Feeding America and for people who could really, really use some meals. So now that the All-Star break is here, that is officially the end of the fundraiser, but it's still active, so you can still donate to it if you want. We're just not going to pester you guys about it anymore on the show, but we will be doing another fundraiser soon, maybe. This is something that I would like to do more often here on the show, and we really, really appreciate your guys' help over the course of the last month here to get meals to people who really, really could use them. It is just a great cause what Feeding America does, and it was great to see all of your guys' generosity. It makes me incredibly proud of the community that we built here. So truly, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all your help. All right, so let's talk about Nicky Bats, Colby. Nick Becker. Mariners finally got a prep shortstop. Thought that was going to be the call there at number 35. They end up making it at number 57, their second round pick. Becker out of New Jersey, Don Bosco prep. And this is a guy that is 6'4" and may very well stick up the middle. So tell me, what do you think about the Nick Becker pick?
Well, somewhat surprisingly, my web of information doesn't really extend to New Jersey prep baseball. So
What?
yeah, I really didn't catch that many games in, Piscataway, but yeah, it is. I don't even know if that's New Jersey or not. But Secaucus. So. There you go. Sure. But anyways, yeah, you read up on him. It's a very interesting profile. The fact that he's 6'4" and has a real shot to stick at shortstop. I've already heard him get some 60 grades on the glove, strong arm. So, maybe he's 6'4", but he is on the thinner side. Obviously he's a teenager. So there's some bulk to add, and that might push him to third base, but very likely he's going to stay on the dirt, which is a huge plus. He has long levers. So there are some concerns about how does he handle plus velo and how does he, make that adjustment, kind of the similar things you're hearing about Avar Arquette, who's another tall middle infield shortstop. So we'll have to see how he does against the plus velo and all that stuff. He handled himself pretty well in the summer circuit last year, though, against velo. There's lots of talks about how he has great feel for the barrel and he just, really hits well. He's got an advanced approach for his age, and there might be some more power to come. So it's a really interesting guy. He is projectable as all heck. And it's going to come down to, can he handle the velo? Can he handle 95 plus with regularity? Because we know, again, bigger guys, taller dudes with long arms, sometimes they get beat inside by fastballs because it's a long path to the ball. But it does sound like Becker right now has a pretty short swing, and he has a good feel for the barrel. He just sounds like an advanced hitter for his age. And then we'll see how much power they can get out of him. If he's 6 at shortstop, you don't need a ton. If he has to move to third, he's probably going to have to find another gear in the power department. But again, he's only 18, so they have 3-4 years to figure this out. And he's a nice ball of clay, and he's going to come in pretty significantly over slot because of a strong commit to Virginia, University of Virginia, where his brother currently plays. And his brother is actually a pretty nice draft prospect for next year. Yeah. So he's going to be an overslot guy. This is one of the guys where the money they saved on Anderson, which is awesome that they got their
Oh yeah, we didn't
guy.
even mention that, by the way.
Yeah, they saved about 700, 800 grand. Yeah. So that's probably where most of this is going to go. And they might have made a couple picks here late today or late in the top 10 that may also save money that's going to go to him. But this is their big swing, their big home run swing. It's interesting to know, like, if they had gone like Irish or something and saved even more, would they have taken another swing on a Nick Becker like guy? But because they got Anderson, maybe they could only take one swing on this type of player. Although they did draft a guy today in the 5th that's not a prep guy, but he's pretty interesting. And he's anyways, Becker's really fascinating. I'm really excited to learn more about him and talk to people who have actually seen him play because this is a guy that I could see he might be top 7 in the Mariners system, might be 13th. Like, I don't know, but I think, he's at the very least, he has to be in the same conversation as Felton Celestin, who a lot of Mariner fans are very protective of and very high on. And Becker checks a lot of the same boxes. So it's a fun pick, certainly. And it's hard to critique, really. I mean, there's really not much here to be upset about, if anything. So, and by the way, they would not have drafted him if they didn't know that he would sign. So don't worry about whether or not he's going to. He will sign. And so we just don't know for how much money. We don't know for how much money any of these guys are going to sign for, except for Cade Anderson. Ironically, they announced that deal within 10 minutes of drafting him. So we know that that's why he's underslot. We don't know if Stevenson's over. We know Becker's going to be. We don't know by how much, etc. But it's a really good pick. It's a fun pick.
Yeah, really cool. And again, it was hard to fathom that the Mariners were going to go out of this draft without one of these prep shortstops. And it was a little surprising that they didn't do it at 35 because there was a huge run on them leading up to that pick. But they still wind up getting a really cool prospect here in Nick Becker. Again, 6'4", and he could still fill out physically, a bit more muscle, a bit more weight in general.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Mariners went major league pitcher, major league catcher, high upside shortstop, drafted a high upside center fielder a little bit later. There's kind of a trend of what kind of players the Mariners are targeting this year, and Becker definitely fits right in the middle of that.
So their 3rd round pick, Griffin Hugus, righty out of Miami, transfer from Cincinnati. You see that, and I'm sure a lot of fans are like, he's the next Brian Wu or Bryce Miller. He's probably more like the next Logan Evans, which is fine, by the way. That's more than fine. That's a major. You get a major leaguer out of your 4th round pick. That's a really good pick. Yeah. So Hugus. I don't know if you have any notes on him, but he was the pick there in the 3rd round at pick number 91.
6'2", not a lot of projectability left though. He's pretty filled out. The hope here is that you can add some velo and his stuff can play up. It's probably 3 average pitches right now, but if you can add velo, everything can take a half a tick up. Really struggled with control and command at the start of his collegiate career, started to figure it out. Every year he's gotten a little bit better, a little bit sharper. Good athlete. He's got some attitude to him. And so, it's a bit of an upside play here. He started off the year really great, and I know he kind of fell at the end of the year, and that's what pushed him down. But he's pitchability guy. He might be just Michael Morales, that type of prospect as well. So I don't think you're going to get a top of the rotation guy here. I don't think you're going to get even like a number 3, number 4. You might get a low end 4, high end 5, or you might get a solid middle reliever here, but we'll see what the Mariners can do, because as we always say, regardless of when it happens, the Mariners are acquiring a pitcher. There's some reason to be somewhat excited, even if we don't know what it is. You just have to trust them on that. So I don't know a lot about him, but it does sound more like a pitchability guy that they're going to try and get a little bit more velo out of, and they might be able to do that and get a number 4, number 5 starter out of him.
So day 2 is underway while we're recording this. It probably still is by the time that you're watching this, or at least by the time that this episode is premiering. So far, the Mariners have made 5 picks I think they're about to make a 6th though. So we might have a chance to at least mention their name. I don't know if we'll have any information on them. Odds are probably
We
not.
even know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, but we will make our best attempt once the selection is made here before the end of the episode. But they start the day with Mason Peters, lefty pitcher out of Dallas Baptist, undersized dude, big curveball. It's a pick that's right after Colby's heart, really.
Left-handed curveballs, man.
Yeah, he loves them. Big Barry Zito guy growing up.
Big Barry Zito guy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the point, I even started throwing lefty and hoping I could teach myself how to throw that curveball. Never could, but I do throw about 60 miles an hour left-handed, so pretty good.
Yeah. So the consensus thought on Peters is that he's going to wind up being a reliever.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty easy delivery. He's got 3 pitches, so he'll be given a chance to start, and we'll see what they do with him.
So. Yeah, deception is a big part of it too. Hides the ball well against lefties. Yeah. Fastball in the low 90s, but it plays up. It's got pretty good ride to it.
I read something that said that he has touched 97.
Yeah.
So we'll see if there's more there in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6 foot though, so there's not a lot physically that he is going to add, but maybe in a shorter stint they could really ramp it up. But you do want to keep the deception, and the curveball is 3,000 RPM spinner, and it's a really good pitch. It reminds me of Tim Collins, if you guys remember him out of the Kansas City bullpen. He might save the Mariners a little bit of money here. But yeah, interesting pick, bullpen guy. He'll probably be a back end of the top 30 type of prospect when we do our ranks here in a couple of weeks.
So in the 5th round, the Mariners made by far their most noteworthy pick of the day, at least so far. Corbin Dickerson, outfielder out of Indiana. He had transferred from Louisville where he wasn't really playing, and then this year he actually got some real playing time with Indiana and exploded. He has been kind of widely regarded as like one of the 75, 80 best prospects in this draft. The Mariners wind up getting him at 152. He's a plus runner, plus defender, plus raw power, high X velos. I think his max was 117 this year. He can hit the hell out of the ball. It's just there's some swing and miss issues here. A lot of strikeouts, miss a lot of pitches inside the zone, some chase as well. So that is probably what led to him falling today, as well as just kind of the lack of track record. He's only done it for 1 season. Again, he didn't really get many opportunities with Louisville last year, and when he did, he wasn't that particularly good either. But this is a really, really fun pick. This is a guy that, again, can hit the hell out of the ball and play some pretty good center field defense too.
I've heard elite center field defense from
maybe a little Jose Siri here. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I've seen 60 grade runner, 70 grade defender, 60 raw power. There's swing and miss here. That's going to be a concern, but he's probably going to be a little bit overslot too. So this might be where some of the savings are going to come in. I really like this pick. It is a fun pick. It feels like the ceiling here is Mike Cameron. But obviously there's a lot of work to do on the swing and a lot of contact issues they need to worry about. But for a 5th round pick, you got a guy who some people had ranked inside their top 50. Some notable prospect guys had inside their top 50. So that's a guy that they could have taken in the 2nd round and nobody would have batted an eye. They get him in the 5th round. There's tons of tools here. And at the very least, you can bank on elite defense up the middle.
Yeah.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites of the entire draft. And again, the Mariners, college pitching, prep shortstop, a guy who can definitely catch at the big league level, and a guy who can definitely play center field at the big league level. It's a trend, and it's a pretty obvious one to take this year, but I really like this pick. It might be my favorite pick of the draft. It's tough with Cade Anderson falling to you, but outside of that, I really like this pick a lot, and he's definitely going to be top 15, maybe top 12 when we do our prospectory ranks. There is a lot of tools here.
So Lucas Kelly, their next pick in the 6th round. Colton Shaw, their 7th round pick, righty out of Yale. Danny Macchiarola, I think that's how you say that. Righty pitcher out of Holy Cross, their 8th round pick. And then just came across my screen here, Jackson Steensma, Appalachian State,
definitely
right-handed
a real
pitcher.
Guy. Yep.
6'4", 244 pounds. Big dude.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Lucas Kelly, because I got a text from our good buddy Joe Doyle right after this pick was made, and he was like, "This guy is super fun." And you watch some video on him. My God, that's Paul Sewald.
Oh, it's Paul Sewald throwing 99 instead of 93.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really fun
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
You know, our buddy Oliver mentioned that he's Hunter Cranton.
Oliver Bochter.
Yes. He is Hunter Cranton with a much better slider.
Mm.
And also an arm slot. Now I'm adding to it an arm slot that is ridiculously tough to pick up at T-Mobile Park. You talk about the low vertical attack angle and that fastball coming up at the top of the zone at 99 with kind of a sharp, like hard slider to back it up. Dude could be pitching high leverage innings for you in a year. Hopefully he doesn't get hit in the face with a line drive and kind of derail his entire first season in pro ball, because you could use a guy like that in your bullpen, and a guy who's going to do it for league minimum for 3 or 4 years. That'd be huge. So this is a really fun pick, and it is not unusual for the Mariners to draft a pure reliever in the first 5-6 rounds. They tend to do that quite a bit. They take a lot of relievers in the first 10 rounds, but this one is closer upside and high leverage upside and just stuff for days. It's a really fun profile to look at.
Don't know a lot about Shaw, or really anything about Shaw. Don't know anything about Machiarola. Don't know anything about Steensma. So yeah, those are some guys we'll probably ask around about here over the next few days, and certainly we'll ask Joe if we get him on the show here soon, or whoever else we might get on the show to talk about this draft class. So yeah.
Well, real fast on Sneezma, we actually just got this from Joe.
Okay.
Didn't pitch in 2025, but flashed some pretty serious stuff in 2024. Pre-injury, 6'4", 244. I don't think that's accurate, but it's a big dude.
Yeah.
But missed all of 2025. Fastballs went up to 96, rest 92 to 94, slightly above average carry and spin. Fantastic mover, generates plus extension down the mound, allowing his velocity to play up even further. 6'4" frame, baseball released from a height of 68 inches, squarely average for major league pitcher, but uncharacteristically low for a player of his size and frame. 27% whiff rate and a 26% chase rate on the fastball. It's mostly fastballs, but he's got a firmer slider. There's also a changeup in there. So he is a pure lottery ticket, and you see what you can get out of him after being hurt all this year. But some interesting traits there on Steensma.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about the draft, especially once it is complete. We'll talk more, obviously, about Cade Anderson, because that's incredibly exciting. We're obviously going to do our prospect re-rank after the trade deadline, once the dust settles there. So sometime probably second week of August, third week of August, we'll probably do that. We'll let you guys know. But yeah, really fun class so far. Looking forward to seeing how the rest of it plays out here. Maybe the Mariners have another like decent-ish swing in them here, maybe in the 10th round. We'll see. But some really fun players in here. Really like the Dickerson and Kelly picks today. Big fan of obviously getting Cade Anderson to fall to you at 3. I mean, that was best case scenario.
Chills.
Love the Luke Stevenson pick. Love the Nick Becker pick. So yeah, really excited about what the Mariners were able to accomplish over the last 24-ish hours here. You're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. So enough about the future Mariners. Let's talk about the current Mariners, who are by far the funniest team in baseball. by far. The content kings, right? They suffered maybe not just their worst loss of this season, but maybe their worst regular season loss of the last few years on Thursday, with how that played out in New York. And then they proceed to sweep the best team in the American League, because of course they did. And by the way, they put up 35 combined runs on a Tigers team that has tormented them for the last year. And oh, by the way, Tariq Skubal and Casey Mize started 2 of those 3 games. A couple of all-stars, including the guy that's starting for the American League tomorrow. Yeah, no big deal. I mean, pretty predictable, right?
This team is epitome of a love-hate relationship, and it kind of, swings back and forth from pitch to pitch. You never really know what you're going to get, and there's a lot of flaws with this team, absolutely. But there are a lot of positives with this team, and it feels like the ceiling is as high as anybody in the American League, and the floor, they might be the A's. Like, I don't know what's like. They're better than the White Sox, but like, are they better than the A's? Depends on the day, So it's.
I would maybe set the floor at like the Orioles, where the Orioles are right now.
Okay, fine. I mean, the team that swept them. Like, yeah, so sure. It's either way. Like the variation is massive, but what's fun about this series is that Cal had the big game on Friday where he hit the 2 home runs late, including the grand slam.
Yeah.
Wasn't a huge factor on Saturday or Sunday. Now you still reach base because teams are afraid to pitch to him, literally. So he still helped out in that regard, but he didn't hit a lot of bombs. He wasn't driving in runs like he had in the first half. And yet the Mariners, they scored 23 runs over the weekend, 35 total in the series. And why did they do it? Because we saw glimpses of August 2023 Julio for a couple of days. And, I tweeted this yesterday and it kind of got lost in the shuffle with all the draft stuff, which is great. But this weekend proves why Julio Rodriguez is the most important player on the Seattle Mariners. Cal Raleigh's the most valuable guy. Don't get me wrong. He's your best player right now. But your most important player is Julio, because when Julio is the best player on your team, like he was this weekend, the entire other 25 guys don't have to be anywhere near as good, because Julio can literally do it all. He drew walks, he hit doubles, he hit home runs, he threw guys out, he played elite defense this weekend. And all you really needed to dominate the best team in baseball after that is you just needed Randy Arozarena to be all-star Randy, and everything else was just gravy. Like, that is how important it is to have Julio Rodriguez. And you get this version of Julio, who raised his WRC plus by 12% over the weekend.
Yeah.
You get this type of Julio for the next 3 months, you're going to the World Series. You can mark that. I don't care if the pitching doesn't get better. Okay. Julio Rodriguez, this level, August Julio Rodriguez, which is what we saw this weekend, August 2023 Julio, with Cal Raleigh doing what he's doing, with Randy Arozarena having the year he has, is all you need, because the pitching will still be good enough at that point.
Sure.
You're getting enough contribution from your role players. That is what it is. Julio Rodriguez by himself has the upside of a 10-win player. Is he ever going to get there? No, probably not. Could he come out of the break and just be bad again? Yes, absolutely. I'm not even willing to say Julio's back. What I'm saying is that if Julio has figured something out, the Mariners have one of the best lineups in baseball. They have one of the most talented pitching staffs in baseball. Their defense is amongst the best in baseball. Like, that is how important Julio Rodriguez is.
Yeah.
And we saw it this weekend.
Sure.
Will it continue? Wouldn't bet money on it, but maybe it does.
Yeah.
And if it does, and you have Julio playing like 80% of what he did this weekend for the rest of the year, you have Cal Raleigh just kind of continuing to do what he's doing. Randy Arozarena's being, I mean, not even really the Batman or the Robin anymore, but like Randy's your third. You add some pieces at the deadline.
Randy's like the Green Lantern right now or something.
Sure. I mean, right now he's still the Robin because Julio hasn't quite earned that yet after only 3 games. But again, you guys get what we're saying. You have those 3 guys in the middle of your lineup.
Yeah.
Playing like they did this weekend. It only took 2 of them to play like that at a time this weekend, to take the best team in the American League and make them look like a JV baseball team. That's all it took, was 2 of those guys having great games at the time. You get all 3 of them having great games on the same night. You can beat anybody in baseball. Anybody. again, long way to go. It's great to see Julio. Do you want to trust it right now? No, you don't. But I'm just saying, if we're starting to see Julio turn things around, and if Julio is going to play like your best player for the rest of this year, the Mariners can go to the World Series. They can win the World Series. That's the difference Julio Rodriguez makes. With Julio's not your best player, you're kind of a 500 team. Yeah. Even with Cal having an incredible year.
Yeah.
When Julio's your best player, on top of everything else that everybody's doing right now, you look like a 100-win baseball team.
Yeah, you need him. Like you said, he makes everyone around him better.
Yep.
And again, it's like Cal can't do this on his own, very clearly, because Cal, having arguably the greatest catcher season of all time, is barely keeping the Mariners' heads above water. They need Julio. And yeah, obviously, you know, if they're able to get a Josh Naylor and maybe an Eugenio Suarez on top of that, or they're able to get, you know, Josh Naylor and Willie Castro, or some combination of those guys, that certainly helps. But you need Julio. You need Julio. Yep. You also need Logan Gilbert to be better than he's been, but you need Julio for sure. Like, that's the catalyst here. But yeah, as big of a storyline as Julio was over the weekend, I mean, you mentioned him. We need to talk about what Randy Arozarena is doing right now. He is well on his way to clearing his career high in home runs. He now has 17. I mean, he has 10 in his last 13 games, or 9 in his last 13 games, whatever it's been. He is right now rocking a career high in WRC plus, 137. He's slashing 251, 357, 463. Well, I guess his career high was 177, but it was the COVID year, so whatever. It was only 23 games. So yeah, I'm going to count this one more than the 2020 season. But Randy has been incredible, right? I think it would be a disservice to him to just call him the Robin right now. Like, he's been able to lead the charge as well here a little bit for the Mariners. And that's been a huge piece of this. Another kind of sneaky huge piece of this, or at least a pretty big development going on right now, Cole Young. Cole Young's starting to feel himself a little bit. He started to feel himself a little bit in New York, and he had himself a really nice series in Detroit. Had the really big bomb yesterday. That could be a pretty significant shift here if Cole Young is able to actually give you some real production out of second base.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still a 21-year-old rookie, so he's still going to make mistakes. He's still going to have bad days. He's going to make errors. But already he's solidified your defense at second base. It's no longer a problem. It's now an asset to you. Mm-hmm. He's starting to hit for power. The ability to collect hits outside of his 1-for-21 start has been relatively there. It's been safe. He's drawing a few more walks here and there. What you're getting from Cole Young right now, if I think he's at an 88 WRC plus, if I'm not mistaken. So if you get 88 to 90 WRC plus, you get this level of defense from him. You get the occasional home run. You're fine at second base. Doesn't mean you can't upgrade there if an opportunity presents itself, but with the Mariners having 4 holes in this lineup, every one that they can handle in-house is a huge win. And the way Cole Young's playing right now, and the way Cole Young has played in totality since they called him up, you can look at second base and be like, look, it's not a plus, but it's good enough. It's manageable. This works. Yeah. And that's huge for Seattle because, again, there's not a lot of third basemen available. There's not a lot of second basemen available. If you need both of them, you're in trouble. And Cole Young right now is just, holding second base down. Occasionally Polanco can get out there. Dylan Moore, if he ever hits again, might be able to help out there too. But Cole Young has solidified second base, and it is at the bottom of the list of priorities now as you go shopping at the deadline. And that is a huge plus.
Yeah, he went 7 for 18 on the road trip. Also had 3 walks. But really the most important note here, 3 of those 7 hits, extra base hits, including 2 that went over the wall. Yesterday's home run was cool. It was very cool. That swing.
Cole Young's first home run was a Yankee Stadium homer.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. The one he hit yesterday
Not a cheapie at all.
Made me feel things.
yeah.
Like whole against Tommy Kahnle, who, while struggled this month, has been an exceptional reliever for the last couple of years. And what the Mariners did to Tommy Kahnle this series, nightmares. But so Young definitely kind of the unsung hero of this one. JP actually had a pretty decent series as well. Randy almost went 20-20 by the break. Yeah. Like, again, it took a home run barrage in the last 2 weeks to make it happen, but Randy almost went 20-20 at the break. Julio's closer to 20-20 than I think people realize. So
what's he at now? 14 home runs,
14 homers, 17 stolen base, 18 maybe after yesterday. The Mariners are starting to hit, and we talked about this before the road trip. Like, the Mariners offense on the road is like top 5. Yeah. And Mariners pitching at home is top 5. Now they could just meld those together. See, if they were a top 5 offense and the top 5 pitching staff at the same time, they're the best team in baseball, or one of them. Yeah. So again, I doubt we'll ever see top 5 offense at T-Mobile Park, but can we see top 12 offense at T-Mobile Park and a top 12 rotation on the road? Because that might be enough to win 88 to 95 games and get into the playoffs and do some damage. So we'll see. But great weekend for Seattle. And again, the bats really good pretty much on the entire road trip. The pitching, glimpses of like old Logan Gilbert.
So some good moments, for the rotation for sure on the road trip.
Good extended stretches from everybody on the road trip.
Obviously, Brian Wu almost no-hit the Yankees, and then
Munoz. But hey, you know what? Munoz and Brash pitched fantastic in Detroit. Didn't take them long to figure that out. So it's a very optimistic time. You need a momentum going into the second half where you're no rest for the weary. You're going to get the Astros, who you're now only 5 games back of, and you're going to get the Brewers.
Things look a lot different here in these next 3 games.
Your first 3 out of the break. Yeah, you have all the momentum. You have all the ammunition. That one muscle starts to tighten if you're an Astros fan, and all of a sudden you have a lot of things going for you, but we'll see. Again, you need Julio to be great. You need Cal to continue to hit home runs. You need the pitching to step up. And for the love of God, can Logan Gilbert go 6 innings one time before the end of this year?
Please. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Cole Young, since June 22nd, Cole Young is slashing 281, 343, 406. So 116 WRC plus. That will play.
I think that'll play. He's also already top 10 and outs above average for second baseman.
And he's only striking out 18.6% of the time over that stretch too. So
he's a good player. He's a very good player.
Yeah, I think what we're really learning about Cole Young is whatever happens the rest of the way, Cole Young is going to be a really good major leaguer.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for our show. Again, a really, really fun one. A lot of good stuff here to talk about with the draft and obviously what the Mariners were able to do in Detroit. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast. Mailbag Monday, or well, I guess Mailbag Tuesday tomorrow. But for Colby Patnode, I'm Tiding Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Tiding Gonzalez and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day. We'll see you next time. Peace.